one thing that we also need to talk about is how much we spend on our wigs. Oh yes, now wigs are what our salaries, you know, but we will save up to 6 months just to make sure that we get that wig. But how do you maintain your wigs? Do you have to be buying them every now and then, or there's a way that you can always make your wigs look new? That is the conversation we are going to be having now, and I have been joined by a beautiful lady with a beautiful wig. Oh yeah, right now she is the founder and also hairstylist here by MTB, Marianne Shumberima. Marianne, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
You're not going back with this, your wake up.
No problem.
It's so beautiful.
Thank you.
You do them yourself?
Yes.
Right, so, you know, we are now buying wigs at expensive prices.
Yeah.
Now look at how much we have to pay for Bond Street. You know, we are saving 6 months salaries and 1 year salaries just to make sure that we have beautiful hair. But the difficulty is how to maintain them and always make sure that they look new.
Yeah.
And that is your specialty.
Yes.
Right. So I have a wig. I've worn it for about 6 months. Now I'm even tired of it. Right. How do I make it bounce back?
Okay. So the first step to maintain your wig, the first thing is every single time you wear your hair, you should actually take care of it like your natural hair. I think that's a mistake a lot of people tend to make. They feel like if they've spent so much money on their hair and then they wear the wig, when they get back home, they can just toss it somewhere inside their closet.
You have no idea where my wig is lying.
So I know, you're one of those. Yes.
I am.
Yeah. So the thing is, like, I think with beauty, you need to invest. And one thing you need to invest in is something like a mannequin head. So whenever you come back home, you should always put it on the mannequin head, like brush it, put it on the mannequin head, just toss it in your cupboard. But in the case where you actually do something like that, where you go back with a wig and you feel like this wig needs to come back to life, maybe the wig is like very messy, it's dirty and all, the first thing you have to do, you always have to detangle your hair.
Okay.
Yes.
How do you do that?
Yes, you just get a comb or like a brush and you just detangle from the tips to the roots.
Okay, so that's what we are seeing.
Yes.
Okay.
You should always brush from the tip to the roots.
Okay.
Because if you do it right from the roots, you're going to keep tangling the hair some more.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you should always do it from the tip. So now the next step is to actually drench the hair in water.
Okay.
Yes, when you do that, after that, you just put some shampoo on it.
And you can do all this by yourself?
Yes.
You don't have to take it to the salon?
No, you can do everything by yourself. That's the thing.
Wow.
People don't realize you can actually do all this by yourself.
Okay.
You just get a very good shampoo. I'd like to use Tresemme. They have a lot of good products. They have a wide range of shampoos. You can just get some from your beauty supply store. And then you just put your shampoo on it. And whenever you're washing your hair, you should always make sure to always go in a downward motion.
What does that mean?
You know, the direction in which the hair is going.
Okay.
You should always make sure the water, and then when you're washing it, your hands should always be going in a downward motion to keep it from tangling.
From your base to the
tip. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That just helps it to not tangle some more, because you know the whole point is you're trying to get the wig as new and as fresh.
Wow.
Yes, exactly. So after you're done, you have to rinse. So like I mentioned before, when you're rinsing, you also have to do it in a downward motion.
Okay.
The hair has to go, the water has to go in a downward motion to keep it from tangling.
Okay.
So now the next step after shampooing your hair is to condition.
That looks like a lot of work.
It's not a lot of work. And like I mentioned, it's an investment. You need to put in all the work if you want to look good all the time.
Serious investment.
And it doesn't stop when your hairstylist leaves you. You have to actually go in and do the work to keep your hair looking nice all the time.
Okay, so this is the conditioning bit?
The conditioning bit, yes.
Okay.
So when I am conditioned, I tend to I try to go to the base of the hair, like where your nape touches the hair, because you know we sweat a lot and we live in a very humid country. Yeah. So you notice that most of the time your hair gets tangled a lot at that part. Yes. So I like to go in there, and I also like to put the conditioner at the tip of the hair, because that part also gets very dry.
I mean, that's why you have to have it bouncy and all, yeah?
Yes,
okay.
Exactly. So when you do that, sometimes honestly you can't really like let the hair be tangle free at that point. So what I like to do during the conditioning process is that I would always brush through the hair with the conditioner in the hair.
Okay. Yes. Okay. To make it easier to come through.
And to make it soft and and look very good.
Okay, like you're doing now.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yes. And when you're done, you just leave it on, depending on how bad you think the hair is. Some people like to leave their conditioner on for about 30 minutes. Okay. Some people also say you should just read the instructions on the bottle because the manufacturer knows best. But I like to leave it on for like 10 to 30 minutes.
Because the manufacturer doesn't live in Adabraka. So they don't know the way it's caught here. Yes.
Exactly. So I like to leave it on for about 10 to 30 minutes to let the conditioner work its way through the hair. Okay. Yes. When I'm done, all I do is I just rinse it out and I leave it to air dry. I think air drying is the best.
But you can use any water. You don't have to use hot water or anything.
So with the rinsing part, you need to use cold water.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
You just have to use cold water to wash the hair out. Yes.
And you can use any shampoo, or there are specific shampoos for wigs?
I like to use sometimes you need to research and find the ones that are good for wigs.
Okay.
Yes. When you that's why I mentioned Tresemme. They have a wide range and their products are really good for wigs.
We'll give you an invoice for that.
No problem. Yes. So when you're done, you just leave it to air dry because you know one of the things that lets your hair actually get old quickly is heat. Yes, so if you go directly to like use your blow dryer, you're adding more heat to your wig because you're going to end up styling it with a hot tube most likely.
Yes.
So I like to air dry it to get the hair completely dry with the sun, and then after that I'll style like I want it.
Wow.
Yes.
So how many minutes, how many hours are you going to be doing this?
Oh, it shouldn't take you, really and truly, it shouldn't take you more than 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, it shouldn't take you more than 10 minutes. The only part that's going to be long is when it's air drying because you can't control the sun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Now, how often do you have to do this with
It
your
depends
wigs?
on how often you wear your hair.
Okay,
wigs,
so for instance, you know there are people who are always in wigs.
Yes.
They're always wearing their wigs.
Yes.
How often do you have to do this?
If you wear your wig daily, that's 7 days straight, I would recommend that you should wash your wig weekly or every other week. Yes, people tend to go months. I think you're a victim with your facial expression.
I'm not too much a fan of wigs, you know, but I like what you are wearing, and I wouldn't mind owning one of that, you know, because I can't really handle a lot of hair around me.
I think
so I'm always holding my hair. But this is awesome. This is by really making it look so chic, you know. Right. So now we have. Our wig is dry. Okay, now the heat bit where you have to maybe use a hot comb or a straightener, how do you also go about it? Because sometimes it's difficult straightening your own hair.
Yes, so I would recommend you should always get a canvas head or a mannequin head and some T-pins so that you can do that so easily. When you do it on your head, I think with some people, they know how to style their hair so well on their own head, but if you want the process to be as easy as possible, you should actually invest in a mannequin head. Now, you don't even need the whole tripod stand. You can just find a stand that you can adjust to your table, and then you just put your mannequin head on it, put your wig on it, and then you style like you want.
Right, so we have some messages, you know, for you. You know, ladies, when it comes to hair and looking beautiful, we always have so many questions. So Amma from Takwa is asking that, is it every wig that can be treated in this way? You know, some wigs are of lesser quality. So, for instance, if a synthetic wig, can you still do this?
You can.
Okay.
You can, but with the heat part, with some synthetic wigs, they can't handle heat as much as the human hair wigs can handle heat. So that's when you have to use like less heat when you get to the styling part.
Okay, so now assuming it's not a wig cap.
Yes.
You've actually fixed it on your head.
Yes.
Patience in who wants to know that, can you wash it whilst the wig is on your head?
Yes, you can.
Okay, and you go through the same process?
You can go through the same process.
All right, okay. But
the only part is, you know, the air drying part. Obviously, you can't keep walking around.
You're going to sit in the sun.
In the sun, exactly. So you have to use a blow dry, but you have to maybe take the temperature down.
Okay.
So that like it would just not be too much heat, because at that point you don't have a choice.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. But if you don't want to be washing, so if you wear your wigs daily, but you don't want to be washing every week, you know, sometimes you just don't have the time. You can't be doing that. How do you store? How do you keep it safe? You know, is there a particular way you have to, you know, put it? You've mentioned that you put it on the mannequin.
Yes.
Okay. So do you have to put it at a place where there'll be air? Do you have to? How do you store it?
Yes, you need to store it in a place that doesn't have lots of dust, because the more dust, you know, means that you'd have to wash it like frequently because it's getting dirty. Just have to store it in a cool, air dry place, and then with no dust. Yes.
Okay. Right. So if we want to take the conversation further, if somebody wants to contact you, maybe get some of your hair, because you do the hair.
Yes, I sell the bundles and I make the wigs.
Okay, hey, then you're a rich woman, because now the wig business is booming, we know. So with what you have on, how much will that be?
This one will cost you about 1,008 cedis.
Oh, is it because I said I want it?
No, that's a price.
All right, okay. So there are more questions coming in. Brenda in Dakuman says, after washing, which cream should I use for the wig?
you don't need to use a cream for your wig.
Okay.
After you air dry, before you style, you should always use a heat protectant.
Okay.
A spray or an oil. But you shouldn't do too much, because when you use too much products, you're going to weigh the hair down, and you need to wash it soon.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, Gloriana in Achimota says, what if I'm in a hurry? Can I blow dry it?
You can't blow dry it. I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't blow dry it, but if you want to let your wig last for as long as possible, you should use as little heat as possible. Like, that's the whole point.
All right, and quickly before we go, can you just give us your social media handles?
So you can contact me on Instagram by Hair by MTV, or you can just WhatsApp me 055-958-5268.
All right, Marianne, thank you very much. We've learned so much.
Yeah.
That will be very useful to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
All right.